Namaste. Let's discuss, as promised, let us discuss what tailwinds we see in Indian economy and why these tailwinds will help India to go from a $3 trillion to a $8 trillion or a $9 trillion in the next decade. So first, there will be many disclaimers I would keep giving you. One is discussing about an economy just from the tailwinds, headwinds perspective is not the complete view of the economy. So you should please bear in mind that you will get contradictory data. Yeah, Vivek mentioned this in the video, but I am seeing something in the opposite direction. Economy inherently is a complex system. If you want, there are good, very extraordinary books on how to actually think about complex systems, but I'm not going there. This video or this series of where we see tailwinds in Indian economy is a only we are talking about Indian economy or generally how to think about any economy only from the perspective of tailwinds and headwinds. But there are several other aspects that you have to consider before forming a holistic view of any given economy. So that I think is the first disclaimer. The second disclaimer, I would better come with it when we start in the middle of the discussion. So first disclaimer is economy is a complex system. So please make sure that this is just the tailwind headwind perspective of where we see tailwinds for Indian economy to go from 3 trillion to 8-9 trillion in the next decade, coming decade. Okay. So let us now start. So I think this is what we discussed. This is a summary of what all we have discussed. Okay. So just look at the diagram. Let's say, like we discussed in the last video, you need to develop competencies in opportunities where there are tailwinds. There is a huge, you don't just come out with your passions and interest. You make sure that you see where there is an opportunity to grow because you want to grow. See, the word that you have to concentrate is growth. You want growth. If you want to grow, you have to make sure that you are competent enough to ride that tailwind. Where are the tailwinds present? And you build competencies. That's what we discussed in the previous video, if you remember. If you remember, I told you, boss, you build foundation, right? You build foundation and there's a seed stage in which you work hard. If it's an individual, your parents play a significant role in the seed and foundation stages where you will be sent to school. This is your competence building stage. Here your whatever is the future tailwind, whether it's you think you want to be a doctor or you want to be a chartered accountant, then you have to pass a CA certificate. You want to be an MBA, you have to do them. If you want to be an engineer, you have to do BTech. So wherever you see opportunities for future growth, for that you build competencies. If you think programming has huge future, as a developer you can earn a lot of money, then learn coding, right? This is a foundation stage where you build competencies. Once you build competencies, people will give you a chance or you may not get chance immediately, but there will be an initial growth phase where just because you build competencies, nobody is going to welcome you. You have to still again prove that you are really good at it. As you prove, you will get into a high growth stage where things will start working for you. People will start flocking to you. You will be on a high growth stage because you have proven enough to the market that boss, you are good. Let's say in your own career, maybe you have proven enough in your organization or in your industry that you are really a good resource, and then you will go into high growth phase. And post that high growth phase, it depends on your own priorities and the external opportunities, what you want to do. You may stagnate, you may retire, no, you may do something else which will take on a much higher growth path here, or you may decline. It depends on many other factors. But this is what happens in an individual life. There's a seed foundation stage where your parents play a larger role. Then there is an initial growth stage where you will be given an opportunity. Then there will be high growth and then post high growth. And all through this, you have to keep on continuously invest. See this. These continuous investments are required. You can't say, I went to school and college, I have done my CS certificate, I will no more invest. No, you have to continuously invest in yourself and make sure that you're always competent enough for what is expected of you. Okay, or what is required to win or get your own meet your own targets or expectations. So this, you need to continuously invest. And then while all this is happening, there will be risks and headwinds. When it comes to your personal life, it can be that you will become sick, something really bad, you will have an accident, or maybe you will, sorry to say this, but you will be in a country like Ukraine or Syria where suddenly you are an MBBS, you did all the things required, but overnight everything is gone. So risks and headwinds are given, right? So just because you lay the foundation, there are tailwinds doesn't mean there are no headwinds. They both coexist. And this is the view of your individual life, and I'm talking about your financial life, right? How you earn money. You find where there are future opportunities and start building foundations. You will not say, I like singing, and if there is no opportunity for singing, you will have to sing without money, right? So this is what I want you to understand, because this is the same mental model, or this is the model that will apply to different sectors. What are the tailwinds? Is India competent at it? What are the headwinds? Are we investing on continuous basis to be competent in that tailwind? Okay. So please make sure that you understand this, because this is what we apply. This is what is applicable to even a economy. So let us go to, okay, let me go back and show you something. So let us take mobile market in 2010. Who were the players? Nokia, BlackBerry, Apple, HTC, Samsung, Motorola, Sony Ericsson, Panasonic, Sharp, NEC. And now who are the, this is 2010 market share, okay? This is not, this is 2010 market share. Now what is the market share today in 2022, May 2022? Samsung, Apple, Xiaomi, I don't know how to pronounce this, Huawei, Oppo, Vivo. Is there a single Chinese player here in these names? And currently Chinese players have 12 plus 6, 18 plus 9, 27, 25 to 30% market share. Why did this happen? In 2010, China doesn't have a single mobile phone being sold by a Chinese player. Today, 30% of the market belongs to the Chinese player. Now, this is what any economy, any good economy does. What they do, they understood that there is a market, eternal market for mobiles. Mobiles is something that people will use for the rest of the human civilization, right? So they understood this is a evergreen market. But in 2010, they realized that they are not part of that market. So how to be part of this market? You are not competent. As of 2010, let's assume, maybe somebody can come with data saying, no, yeah, in 2010 also China was doing these things. I'm not getting there. I'm trying to drive this mental model into you, how to think about it. Let's say in 2010, China was not good. No company is there from China. There are two ways it can become good. It can be part of this mobile market, because if mobile phones are manufactured in China, there will be a lot of jobs that get created in China, right? Anyway, Chinese have to buy mobile phones, right? Mobile phones is something that Chinese have to play. Everybody have to buy, but they were not having a single rupee market share in 2010. What they did, what they could have done, two things. One is encourage those companies which are already good. What are those companies that are already good? Nokia, Motorola, BlackBerry, all these people. And tell them, boss, you come here, I will incentivize, I'll create policies for you, I'll give you whatever you want, tax benefits, capex benefits, labor which is beneficial, labor laws which are beneficial to them, give them whatever they want. And tell them, boss, manufacture here, so that you create jobs here and you export. And they did that also. If you buy any Apple phone, most probably most parts of that Apple phone are coming from China. If you buy any laptop, if you buy any electronic good, many parts of that are being manufactured in China, right? You understood what they did? They did this in electronic goods. Okay? Give me a minute. They did this in electronic goods. They understood in 90s, Dell, HP, they've already captured the laptop market. They thought, okay, boss, let us not go fight there. Let us make ourselves so attractive for people to come and manufacture from China, so that jobs are created in China, and then Chinese anyway will buy laptops, but also there is a benefit to Chinese because of they being part of the value chain of electronic goods. But in mobiles, what they did, they actually created their own companies, incentivized them, gave them production linked incentives, and made sure that they went and captured the market share. Today, Chinese are anywhere between 25 to 30% of the market share. So nobody is competent on day one. As a country, you need to think what are the sectors that I want to be competent, because like take Japan is not a labor intensive nation. So if you always look at Japan, what Japan is doing, it's always investing in high tech, robotics, because it is not bothered about creating so many jobs, because it's a very small population, then there are enough jobs. So it is always going ahead and investing in extremely futuristic sectors, high tech. China does both high tech and also these kind of things, because there are 1.6 billion people for whom you have to create jobs on continuous basis, right? You understood this, you have to build competence. That doesn't mean the moment. I remember when I first bought my mobile phone, people were Chinese mobiles used to be smuggled and they used to come into India, and they used to be as hard as stones. So people used to joke, boss, see, they used to crack jokes on Chinese phones. But now 3 to 4 phones out of 10 phones are, most of us are using Chinese phones, right? Or even the Apple phone that they are using is manufactured in China, right? Is China born with competencies? No, it worked on it. It helped. It created incentives for the industry, and then you become competitive, or you may lose. It is not that just because you invest, all investments will bear fruit. In some investments you may fail, but that is how you should think. Why I'm insisting on the same thing again and again is, shortcut to analyzing any economy is this: how many industries is a given country competent? What all can India do? Why did Sri Lanka fail? It didn't create enough competencies. So when suddenly it lost its dollar revenues from tourism, it couldn't find other places where it can draw the strength from. So it collapsed, right? And there are other reasons. This is not the only reason, but I'm just telling you that economy means competencies. Let's say you're a family of 2 people. What are you going to do? You will build competencies for those 2 people in areas where there is future growth. Same thing in an economy has to do for 10 crore people or 5 crore people or 100 crore people. You need to create competencies for all these people where there is future growth. All Indians will learn singing. No, boss. So many singers are not required. You cannot go with your passions and interests. You have to go with where the future tailwinds are and then build competencies. That is why, as mentioned in the previous video, this is what you did. This is what you are forcing your children to do, right? You are asking them to build competencies where you see there is highest growth possible for them, and where they can get better jobs and high paying jobs. And that is what, if you do it across the country, that country is prosperous, right? So let us now go and see. I'll give you one more example, like, which is a little bit crazy, but I'll try to give you that example. Take this toothbrush. Let's assume that this is a new invention. Like today it was invented that, boss, there's something called toothbrush which you can use to brush your teeth, and everybody uses it. Man, woman, girl, boy, everybody uses this, and it is going to be used every day. Now suddenly this is an opportunity for 8 billion population. You can sell 8 billion toothbrush. What should India do? Let's say you're an Indian government. What should you do? You can say, boss, I don't care. Let people decide, let people fight, let they do R&D, let them do all the hard work. Whoever comes up with a super toothbrush, I will buy from them. That is one way to think. Can you do it? I'm not telling what government should do, but that is how some governments or some countries think. Or you can do something else. You can say, boss, so let me also try. Let me start putting money into R&D, ask my universities or whoever. I'm just imagining, whoever, incentivize R&D, incentivize production, incentivize design, whatever is required to become competent in toothpaste manufacturing. Do all the things required, handhold the entrepreneurs, train the population, how many hours you think are required, whatever is required to come up with the best toothbrush in the world. Try to be competent in the world. Maybe your Indian companies will get 20% market share, or 30, or who knows, 50, or only 10%. This is how you think, right? From toothbrush to spacecraft, there is a country that is thinking like that, you will always create jobs, right? So when I say this, I am not saying you have to manufacture everything. If you just need to become competent in as many sectors as possible, so that those many, for your population to get jobs, or else incomes won't grow. Either for an individual or for a country, it applies the same. You have to become competent in futuristic opportunities, only then there will be growth. Please get this. Agreed? So what we did, like I'll give you a small sector where India has done this. India has done the same thing in electronic goods. It saw that all the mobiles, laptops, everything we are buying from China in the last 8 years. So what we did, we created so many incentives that some parts of that value chain we started now manufacturing. Not everything. We are maybe today people will say, yeah, we are still assembling, we are not the manufacturer. But you start like that, right? Now India is started. I think Apple. Let me go there. Let me see if this is true. So see this export from India. Apple's export from India is currently at 10,000 crore. It was at zero 7 8 years back. Not that the whole of Apple is getting Apple phone is getting manufactured here, but some part of the value chain we could capture. So there will be starting point like this, and we have to see. Please get this. Either you create your own companies which can be part of the value chain, or incentivize the best companies to come and manufacture here. China did both. It incentivized Apple to come and manufacture in China, and also created its own mobile companies. All the laptops that you are buying are mostly, some parts of the laptops or most parts of the laptop are being manufactured in China. Why I am taking China as an example is we are comparable in population, and there are so many jobs that we have to create. So this is, please get this, because this is the mental model. This is the mental model that I want you to take. There's a tailwind for which you have to build competencies, for which there will be a seed stage and foundation stage. Initial growth, people will test you, people will not accept your products, people will still not believe in your product, but still you have to keep on competing and keep on continuously investing in it. And once people start accepting your products in a big way, you'll have a very high growth. Post high growth, we will see, you may go into saturation, or you may still go from there, and you may decline. And while all this is happening, you will have headwinds. Something or other will be going wrong. See what happened. We got COVID, huge headwind. We thought COVID is over, and then now you have created headwind in terms of inflation. I'm not saying it's just Putin is responsible for the whole of inflation, but I'm just giving you that these headwinds are given wherever you live. It is your job as an economy or a country to create multiple sources of competencies. So if you have to understand shortcut to if you have to take few things from this diagram is competence, tailwind, headwind, and continuous investment. You cannot say I have invested, I have a degree of MBBS, so I will never learn again in life. No, I have done my CA course, so I will never. Continuous learning, continuous incremental investments are required to stay competitive. This you have it in your head. And I'll give you a shortcut now. This is what is analyzing any economy. Let's say you don't know, yeah, who will know this GDP, current account deficit, this rupee should depreciate or appreciate, how to think about all these things. 5% growth is good, 10% growth is good. How do I understand all these things? Don't worry, boss. I'm giving you a shortcut. Take country, look at how many sectors it is competent in. In auto, what parts this guy is supplying, or what is he doing in auto, what is he doing in IT, what is he doing in laptop. Take every sector that you can think of and see how many sectors that this guy is competent in, and are these competencies enough for that country to keep on growing. Let me explain this. If you are the single guy, you don't need to be competent in 100 things, right? You just need to be competent in 1 or 2 things and you will grow. But for a country who has crores of people, it has to be competent in many things, so that you need to have a continuous creation of jobs. So this is what is economy analysis. If this is good, then everything else is a result. Please get this. If a country is competent in multiple sectors, if the country is having a culture where people can come and always invest and grow and create new companies in futuristic sectors, boss, don't worry. You will have a current. Your external balances will be good. Internal balances will be good. Everything will be good in the long run. You can take shocks much better if you are competent. If you are not competent, when the shock hits you, you will fall. So this you take. I don't know anything about economy. These economists are confusing me. Take this shortcut, boss. If somebody says UK economy is bad, just list down what is UK good at. Let's say I don't know population of UK. Let's assume it's 5 crore. For 5 crore people, are there enough competencies that this 5 crore people's wages can keep on increasing? What is their current per capita? How will it grow? Keep on growing? Or will it stay there at least without falling? Are they competent? If they're not competent in anything, how are they going to maintain their incomes or grow their incomes? That's it. Then automatically everything else is a offshoot of being good. If you are good, you're ultimately in the long run your savings will be good. You will have a good house. You will have a good savings, enough savings balance. You will earn enough to retire. It is the same thing for country. If the country is competent in enough things, ultimately it will create jobs. Ultimately it will have forex reserves. Ultimately it can control inflation. It can take shocks better. Competency, 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 boss. Sorry to say this, but that is what you should concentrate on. I don't know anything about economics. Don't worry. Now let me give the second disclaimer. The second disclaimer is, please, this is a top-down view of economy. You just can't go and apply this and pick stocks. This is like doing the pitch report. Okay, how is the pitch? How is the playground? How is the weather? But once you understand the pitch is good, the weather is good, it's favorable, which bowler will do well, how to bat, then going and picking stock is playing ball by ball. That's a bottom-up thing. That is a different ball game. So please get this. Let me see if I have written down something else to. No, I think in the next following video, we will start discussing in each sector what India is doing. In some sectors, like in IT, we are already high growth. We have crossed our high growth stage. In pharma, we are around high growth and we have crossed it. So there are new sectors we are still in the foundation stage. There are sectors which we are in the initial growth stage. What we are doing as a country in terms of where are we laying foundations. So these things, there are 7-8 sectors I'll discuss because I can't discuss every sector in the world. And just to give you an indication of where are the tailwinds for India to go from 3 trillion to 10 trillion. So this is one thing I wanted you to take. Let me see if there's anything that I forgot. So let me just go back to the diagram as a ending of this. This is what it is. If you want to create if you want to create a competency in new industry, government has to create policy, land, labor, talent, capital, taxes. It has to provide the infra, any other benefits, and continuously work with industry. And then the country may succeed or not succeed in that, capturing that opportunity. But that is how a country should try to develop multiple competencies. Okay. So I think I have. Let me jump into just discussing the sectors, but please take this mental model which you can apply across many countries. Okay, let me stop here. Thank you.